We see a lot of trends in the EDC knife world. From the explosion of button locks, to everybody making their own crossbar when the axis lock patent expired. Well, I would say the biggest trend of the last year has been that of the EDC fixed blade, a trend that I've been here for because you know I love carrying one. But with so many companies making awesome EDC fixies, how the heck do you stand out? Well, you gotta make some noise. And that's what Molesect and my homie Fabsterun have done here with the Molesect Noiz. What's gotta be the most unique EDC fixie and one of my top budget fixed blades of 2025. I'm gonna tell you why. Stick around. What it do, Kripple Krew? EDC with DBD, disabled but deadly, and we are going to talk about this awesome EDC fixed blade today. But first, I want to tell you guys a little bit about Molesect and why they've impressed me so much in the last year. First, do me a favor and stab that like button. Make sure that you've /subscribe and that you've bashed that bell for notifications so that you don't miss anything. Well, Molesect came onto the scene last year, 2024, with knives like the Molesect Orbit and Jungle. And I reviewed a couple of these and did giveaways with Molesect right when they were first coming out. And I got to tell you, I was pretty impressed with what they were bringing for what at the time, you know, these are under $50. Contoured G10 with an awesome front flipper and a hollow ground 14C 28N blade. Yeah, they're packing a lot into this for what you were getting, but there definitely was some things that stood out to me on this, and they were very receptive to feedback. They came out with their second line of knives, which included the Slate, which I've also reviewed, and I don't have mine anymore because I've given it away, but another knife that they were very receptive to changes on. And then they made a very difficult decision for any company, but especially a new company trying to break into the market. They shut down production on new models for a while. The models that they had available, they were still selling, and like that Slate, they made inline changes to based on feedback from reviewers, and improved the knife, and they sold those as their original designs, but they stopped producing anything for a while, and they found a new lead designer and started working with some other collabs from people in the knife world. Then they didn't just drop these knives so that they could make some money on them. They started touring knife shows like across Europe and such, and showing these knives off and getting feedback. And they were dropping knives on Instagram, getting people's feedback. Everybody's asking me, how do I buy these, DBD? Where the heck did Molesect go? And I'm like, yo, give them time. Give them time, because they're doing something difficult. They're trying to make sure that they re-release with an awesome lineup that actually stands apart from in this crowded knife world, and that hits all those little marks that they may have missed before. And I gotta tell you, the new and improved Molesect is going to be blowing some people away. The first major release from the new brand is the Molesect Noiz. And trust me, I am going to talk to you about that version 2 Ultim Orbit in another video, because I want to give that its own video going over everything that was changed from the V1 to the V2 Orbit based off of feedback, because it's very impressive how they listened. But let's talk about this Molesect Noiz, which comes in at an overall length of 7.12 inches. We are rocking a blade stock of 14C28N with a 2.96 inch sheepsfoot blade with a flat grind and a satin finish. We have a grip area in here from here to here of exactly 3.5 inches. We have a blade stock thickness of a chunky boy, 190 thousandths. Yes, 190 thousandths. We have a weight with the knife alone and with these scales of 5.08 ounces. Not bad at all for 7 inches of 190 thousandths 14C. And look at how they carried that thickness out to the tip. And a weight with the sheath, and we're going to talk about that sheath, of 6.64 ounces. It is massively chunky, and yet somehow still gets down to a nice slicey edge with that 14C and 14C 28N. It's a great steel for a fixed blade because it's very tough, it's corrosion resistant, and it's going to hold its edge for a decent amount of time while being easy to strop up in between sharpenings and strop back to a very, very fine edge. On this one here, we are looking at purple acrylic scales with copper foil in them, and it looks amazing. You know, it kind of looks like a kyanite or something, but the foil, the way it catches the light is insane. You know what? Let me turn my other line on as well. I just realized it's not on. See if that helps a little bit. Look at those. Look at the way that shimmers in the light. It looks awesome in person. The ergos on this are perfect. I get a full 4-finger grip. This jimping, you know, I like it because it's stylish the way it's diagonal, but it still locks me in, and this is so comfortable in this grip. This knife is built for a pinch grip. That's why the kyanite stops where it, or the acrylic, I should say, stops where it does. That's to allow you to use that nice low tip very easily in a pinch grip for any type of, you know, opening packages, slicing, cutting down on a flat surface. You've got a nice spot here for your index finger and a utility style grip. It's big enough and comfortable to turn around if you're going to cut backwards or if you're getting like a chest lever grip. In a beef jerky Avenger grip, I am capped off and I feel very locked in. Same in a beef jerky Defender. You know, I always recommend a fixed blade when you're defending your bag of beef jerky, and this would be a great knife for it. It's nice and strong. You do have a fine enough tip to do some digging. You're going to be able to slash with this knife. It feels so good in hand. I just want to show some of the stylistic designs with this swedge real quick. And yes, as you can see, we have a bottle opener here. I really need to make a short or something, popping some bottles with this. I just had the last one again last night and didn't record it. I'm out of bottles. I need to get some more. The bottle opener works great. But I love the way they did the swedge on this. You can see we do have a bit of a flat up top and then like a double swedge. And it just looks really nice and allows it to carry a lot of that thickness out to that tip so that you have a very strong knife. I refer to this as my pocket sword because this reminds me of a sword hilt so much. You've got your bashing end for, you know, breaking open walnuts, and just that square feeling of it. When I reach down into my pocket, it feels like I'm grabbing a sword hilt, and I love it. The sheath is done very well. I have the slightest bit of rattle. However, I have shaken this very hard, and it won't come out. The retention is phenomenal. You have a great, whoop, as I almost drop it. You have a great positive click as you go in. That works right there as a thumb ramp for pushing out. We do have a drainage hole in case it gets wet. So I also want to point out how they used a single piece of Kydex and folded it over in a taco style sheath so that it takes up a lot less room than if this were two pieces of Kydex bolted together in a pancake style like this sheath here. The clip that they use is actually the best factory clip I have used yet for carrying a fixed blade, and one of the only ones that has stayed on my sheaths and not been replaced by an ulti clip or a scout strap. This works great as a pocket dropper. This goes right over your pocket, slides in, it hooks, and it holds very well when I'm removing the knife from my pocket. But this also goes over my belt very easy, or I can slide this inside the belt, like between my pants and the belt, but it also works fantastic inside the waistband. So it allows for multiple different ways of carrying the knife. However, you can take this off. An ulti clip works great. Soft loops would work just fine. And they did do doubles here so that you could hang this as a neck knife. Though I would say this is a little heavy for a neck knife for me. But the sheath is done very well, and I do actually like the clip that they included. So we've got a big thick boy, gets down to a nice sharp edge. So this you can use for damn near all of your EDC tasks. If you're out in the woods, you could do some bushcrafting with this if you needed to. You could do some feather sticking. It's got the strength to do heavy duty tasks, but a thin enough edge to do fine tasks as well. I think they've done a phenomenal job, and I also want to talk a little bit about the Molesect unboxing experience. For budget brands, they're one of the best. Their folders come in these leather pouches, but all their knives come with a cleaning cloth. You get a Molesect sticker. You always get a Molesect paracord for a lanyard. I haven't put that on this. I don't feel the need to. This EDC, for an EDC Fixie, this is about as large as I go. I'll give you some size comparisons real quick. Here's Lagatha, my Aries EDC custom spike, and as you can see, Lagatha is a little bit shorter than the Molesect Noiz. And another EDC Fixie that I carry very frequently, and it was right here in front of me, okay, still is the KOTY and Aries EDC Bloom, which as you can see is over an inch shorter. So I typically carry smaller EDC Fixies. This would be about the upper limit of what I carry. Another one to compare it to would be the Dust Devil. And if you have a Dust Devil, this is almost the exact same length overall as a KOTY Dust Devil. If you don't like the purple, that's fine. This comes in yellow G10 or black G10, and both of those are a little bit less expensive. But the Kieranite, or I keep saying Kieranite, the purple and copper, the purple acrylic with copper foil in it is the more expensive, coming in at $69.99 before code DBD saves you 10%. Yes, you can get all of this 14C28 in with that awesome blade shape, amazing, comfortable ergos, and a phenomenal sheath for $63 after code DBD. I think that's a phenomenal deal, and I can't wait to show you guys what Molesect does next. But I also got to give a massive shout out to my boy Fabsterun. If y'all ain't following him, especially on Instagram, you really should be following Fabsterun on Instagram. It's one of the coolest EDC related Instagram channels. And this is his first knife design. I gotta say, homie, you killed it. Like I said, how do you stand out in such a crowded market? You make some noise, and that's what you did, my friend. But you did it with one of the most useful and fun to carry EDC Fixies I have yet. So this is on my short list for top budget EDC fixed blades of 2025. And if you want to peek at what he's doing next, I'll leave a link to the pre-order for his GeoKnife Noxes folder. That thing looks sick! I can't wait to get one of those too to show you guys. But let me know your thoughts on the Molesect Noiz. Have you picked one up yet? If you want to, you guys want to see that video on the Molesect Orbit and changes from V1 to V2, let me know down below. Hope you have a killer day, night, morning, evening, whatever it is, wherever you are. Stay safe, stay frosty, and most important, woo, that was weak. Most importantly, folks, we can do one better. Stay deadly.